Casey Shepherd, health coach here, and we got Maisie here today. She's hungry, so she's on my lap begging for food. But I'm bringing you more information and education all the time. The more you understand, the more you can come to your own conclusions, dive in deeper, try to figure out your own body, or just become a more efficient person, a more efficient body. We can always improve our health or improve our health more, the more we can understand. So that is what my main mission is. And today I want to go over how hormones play such a huge role in our body. But we do miss big chunks of our ability to efficiently heal when we don't look at the full picture. And I want to bring up functional lab testing and comprehensive lab testing because it's something that I used to only focus on with blood work. One of my main beliefs used to be that, and it's not to say that it's still not true in certain cases, but it used to be that if we push to shift the hormones, that it can bring everything else that's off in balance. And this is true a good amount of time, but just like anything else, it doesn't work for the majority of people. And at the point where your hormones are out of balance, there is typically several other things that are off. Everything works in these back and forth, synergistic and antagonistic way. And so it's why if we do make a significant hormone change, that it could bring other things into alignment, but we may, for some reason, not be able to shift the hormones because there's only so much you can do to control the cell if the cell's not healthy or if it's not reacting right. And only certain supplements that can affect those hormones in certain ways to get them to shift enough for the rest of the body to follow suit. And when you study different kinds of topics by themselves, you see how these things make major changes. Let's talk about hormones. Like hormones make huge changes in the rest of the body. Minerals, mineral balance, and heavy metals make a huge shift in the body. They have such a big impact. Same when we do gut testing, dysbiosis, GI map testing. That is such a huge part of where our hormones come from and what health of our cells are and our immunity and a lot of those things. So these I would say, in my opinion, three big topics, because minerals kind of sit at the top of the food chain in terms of enzymes, cells, even vitamins. Our gut, a lot of the vitamins need minerals first to be balanced in order for them to be up. So these three big topics really are, to me, at the core of the internal hormone system. And again, there's other things, obviously, but these are the three main things. And so there are people who just focus on one of these areas and estimate and guess on the other. And that is how I used to do things on the hormone front. Hormones was like my jam. And I feel like it took me a lot longer to figure my system out, only focusing on that, because there were so many other little things off in my system that I was missing. And over time, some of those other things became more efficient, but other people are not that lucky. And one of the reasons is that everybody's body functions differently. We have different receptors, we have different lifestyles, we have different genetics, we have different hormone balance to begin with. Metabolisms are different. There's so many different things that may bring somebody down one path versus another. But the issue is that I have clients that have so much inflammation or autoimmune stuff, or honestly things that they don't even know exist because they've never tested it. And you could spend a year working with someone on their hormones and guessing on the nutrients they need, and you're having digestive issues, so you give them certain digestive things, and all really great things. But it doesn't mean that it is specific to what that person exactly needs in order to bust through the plateau of what the bigger issue is in their system. And that's going to be different for everyone. There may be bigger chunks of things that make a bigger difference for some people versus another. And until you really can look at that and test to see what is it. You could spend a lot more extra time trying to guess and figure it out. And when we look at the thyroid and the hormonal system, I see a lot of gut issues because the thyroid has a lot to do with our stomach acid production, nutrient absorption, our whole metabolic system, our digestive system slows down when the thyroid does. And a lot of times when I have hypothyroid or Hashimoto's people, they have the digestive issues. They have all of that stuff going on. And so you put people on protocols for some of the thyroid stuff with that, but you can't see what pathogens entered the body while this thyroid was malfunctioning and wasn't functioning correctly. And what even started that to begin with? If it was something even different than a thyroid problem, that's probably been going on even longer, because certain little issues will then lead to bigger issues, then lead to bigger issues and bigger issues. And so a lot of these thyroid people that you test will see bacterial or yeast or parasite pathogens that are in the gut because they entered through a very undiverse microbiome. This person does not have enough healthy bacteria that protect their body. They don't have the stomach acid and the enzyme production to kill off the things that are in there, and then their gut process isn't moving along enough and isn't killing off and breaking down things enough. Then they get inflammation in their gut lining. And so you don't know what area to help people with. And so again, we have to look at all these different systems in order to help us get a greater understanding. It's not any different than someone who's like a proponent of keto, or who's like, oh, carnivore, and they think it's the king and all be all of everything and that everyone should do it. But in reality, everyone has a different body, and you need to cater everything to the individual. And you need to do it based off symptoms, and you need to do it based off of health history, and realize that everybody's body needs something different specific to them. And I'm not somebody who pushes people into trying to do all this testing. That's unnecessary. But if you have health issues, if you have gut issues, if you have any hormone stuff, there is more going on deeper. And you will save yourself so much time and energy and emotion looking to figure out exactly what areas to target. And I would say the person that's reading your labs has a lot to do with it, and who you're working with, a lot to do with your body's ability to work through it. There's a lot of negativity surrounding testing in a lot of different ways, or people who've done testing that it didn't work. But again, there's different kinds of labs out there. There's different kinds of comprehensive lab work. There's different kinds of GI dysbiosis tests. You can test minerals in the blood, or you can test them in the hair. I do it in the hair. It's way more efficient. So you can't really compare apples to oranges. And again, majority of it is how you're going to decipher it. Even the way that you choose to bring someone through the healing process, what you find most important to do first, being able to read and assess that client's progress or not progress or symptoms along the way with the protocols that you are doing, and knowing when you decide to step back or to move on to the next step, or what you do first and what you do next based on even just some of the exact levels and the amount of things that are going on. So I just wanted to explain that because I've just shifted gears a lot with what I'm trying to push with some of the people that I work with, because it's really hard to treat people when there's that many unknowns. So just another maybe outside view of how I look at the body and why comprehensive reports are so important. So if you like this video, please like below, subscribe to my channel. I'm constantly posting new content, other bits of information, and just little informative bits also on my social media. So please follow me there, Casey Lee Shepherd. All my stuff is linked below.